What if the end of violence, hate, war, and anger didn't begin out there, but in here? It took me 42 years to realize this, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the core inner shift that I wish Tyler Robinson knew. A shift that calms reactions, strengthens relationships, and helps prevent harm. A path to freedom. Stay to the end for a free Master Your Mind, Master Your Life starter kit and a free 5-day virtual Rare Faith Conference invite. A place to feel hope for a world that seems broken. We have been fighting the wrong battles, trying to fix people, to change events and circumstances. But the real enemy is the adversary, and the battlefield is in your mind. Freedom doesn't come from changing the world outside us. It starts by filling our minds with God's light and truth. That's where joy and peace begin. This isn't an easy fight. It takes consistent daily effort, but naming the battle begins the shift, the change, taking back your God-given power. I believe that Charlie Kirk died because we have been taught by our society, and often without realizing it, that someone else is responsible for how we feel. One man's refusal to take responsibility for his own feelings and actions contributed to a devastating loss of life. So many carry resentment, convinced that their peace depends on someone else's silence. In these moments, we surrender our freedom, our morality, and our humanity. From the shooter's eyes, blame became his power, and responsibility was forgotten. This is the real weapon. Violence begins when people believe they are powerless over their own emotions. Here is the truth that could change everything. Charlie Kirk died because someone believed their emotions were somebody else's responsibility. But instead of owning those feelings, he believed silencing someone else would bring him peace. And in that moment, he gave his power away. He surrendered his morality. Charlie Kirk's death is not just about a shooter and a gun. It was about a belief. Imagine if the shooter had understood that his emotions were his to govern. Imagine if we all understood that. How many tragedies would be prevented if we learned to carry our pain instead of weaponizing it? Our inner world of thought and emotion always drives our outward motions. What we think, what we feel, it always finds a way out. Everywhere you look, people are triggered, offended, outraged. We demand that others say less, do less, be less, just so we can feel okay. Our feelings are ours to own, always. At the core of every human choice is a mindset, owner or victim. Owners take full responsibility for their thoughts, emotions, and actions. They understand that their inner world shapes their outer reality, and that real power begins with ownership. Victims, they deflect responsibility and place blame. They react instead of respond, handing their power to people, politics, and circumstances. I was really good at being a victim. I blamed everybody else for my problems. I blamed them for how I felt. I blamed them for the unhappiness that I was living in. There was a time when my 2 little girls would wake up at 4 a.m., sometimes even 3:30, wide awake, ready to play and start the day, and I was not ready for that. I wanted to keep sleeping like any mother would. But the moment that I remembered that I was in charge of how I felt, not my kids or their choices, I sat there and I found great joy in that moment. Happiness. I was grateful that my little girls were alive, that they were with me, laughing and giggling, and that I got to watch it and be a part of it. It was true freedom. No longer suffering because I believed that they were making me miserable. I have discovered that no one can offend me without my consent. To be offended is a choice. Change begins where blame ends. So the more responsibility we claim, the more power we gain. When I'm offended, that's my work to do. And when you're angry, that's your work to do. Because until we take ownership of our emotions, we will keep living in a world where blame fuels destruction. So take a minute, comment below, and say how you will finish the sentence. This week, I'm taking ownership of, and I want you to fill in that blank. Maybe it's how you respond to your kids, or the bad driver next to you, or your neighbor, or your spouse, or your boss. What are you willing to do to start being the owner of your emotions and your reactions? I recently attended a beautiful Christian conference for LGBTQ plus individuals. It was created to be a place of love and support and belonging, and I felt that. I really did. I'm incredibly grateful for the people who are building spaces like this, spaces where people can be honest about their pain and feel seen. But I left with a heavy heart, not because of the people, not because of the tender stories I heard, but because they were missing a vital truth that would start their shift from pain to freedom. A transgender individual pleading to be accepted, a gay man crying because he doesn't feel seen or understood. And my heart just broke. In every tear, I heard this message: please, someone out there, validate me. Please change so I can feel okay. Please accept me how I am. That is not where our healing comes. Not when it's based in the hope that someone else will finally say what you need to hear or love you how you need to be loved. Because here is the truth, and it might be hard to hear, but it is the truth that sets us free. Until you validate yourself, no amount of validation from others will be enough. Until you love yourself, it will not matter how many people say they love you. And I say this with deep love and empathy, not judgment. I cry with you, I ache for you, and a part of the reason this hurts so deeply for me is because I lost my own brother to suicide. He was experiencing same-sex attraction, and he carried so much shame, so much pain, and not enough self-love to survive it. When I hear your stories and see the tears in your eyes, I see his pain. I see what he must have been feeling. I see the battle he didn't know how to win. So no, I'm not speaking from the outside. This is personal. And I'm here to tell you something that I wish someone could have told him, and told him in a way that he could receive in his heart. You are loved. You are already seen. But that love won't feel real until you believe it for yourself. Yes, we can fight for inclusion. Yes, we can call for compassion. But real healing begins when we stop waiting for the world to change and start changing what we believe about ourselves. That's where God meets you. That's where the peace comes in. And once you've found it, once you've truly learned to love and accept yourself the way that God already does, something amazing happens. You stop needing everyone else to do it for you. That's when you become free. The truth is, God already loves you. But until you learn to love you, you'll keep chasing that love in all the wrong places and in all the wrong ways. And my hope is that we can all learn this sooner, for ourselves, for our families, and for the world. Apart from physical violence, the pain doesn't come from others. It comes from within. And when we heal, we stop passing that pain on. I learned this truth when I was in so much pain, believing I was not being seen or accepted by the people who I thought were my friends. And now I am free, full of love and compassion for myself and others. This topic is tender and it's layered, and I'm not trying to reduce your experience. I'm trying to lift it. Let's keep having this conversation, not with blame, but with courage and compassion. Please comment below and share your heart. I'm here for you. I want us to imagine a different world, the possibility of a new kind of world. Imagine marriages where spouses own their feelings instead of blaming each other. Imagine political discourse where people responded with thought, not rage. Imagine streets safe from violence because people manage their feelings instead of unleashing them. But here's the thing, the shift, it doesn't start out there. It starts right here, in your mind and in your heart and in your life. Imagine no longer chasing validation. You look inward and you find God waiting. Imagine seeing your reflection and whispering, "You are worthy," and meaning it. Imagine walking into a room not needing approval, just carrying peace. Imagine hearing the old voices of shame and choosing not to believe them anymore because you have found a higher voice and he speaks love. Imagine waking up tomorrow and saying, "No more blaming, not today." Imagine choosing faith over fear. What if we stopped assigning blame and began instead to own, with grace, our role in shaping our inner world? What if we saw how our chosen thoughts can either soothe or intensify our pain? and trusted God as the true source of healing, strength, and peace. Ownership is quiet, but it's not small. Charlie Kirk's death didn't start with a gun. It stands as a devastating reminder of what happens when we refuse to own our emotions, when we abandon responsibility and search outside ourselves for relief that only comes from within. So now I want to invite you to reflect. What pain are you carrying that you have been waiting for someone else to fix? What emotions have you laid at another person's feet, or maybe even at God's? Just take a moment and ask yourself, what would it look like if I took full ownership of how I feel today? What could shift if I stopped waiting for someone else to do it for me? You don't have to have all the answers, but you do have a choice. And here is the good news. You don't have to do it alone. God empowers us to master our minds and our hearts. He doesn't just command us to love, He teaches us how. He doesn't just call us to peace, He becomes our peace. So lean into that partnership, own your emotions, turn to Him for healing, and let's be the kind of people who change the world, not by force, but by the quiet power of self-mastery led by love. Charlie Kirk's death is a tragedy, but if it wakes us up to this one truth that no one else is responsible for how we feel, then maybe, just maybe, his death can plant a seed of ownership, a seed of healing, a seed of change, a seed that can grow into a world with fewer tragedies ahead. If this message resonates with you and you're ready to take ownership of your emotions, deepen your faith, and live with more peace and power, then you are not going to want to miss the Rare Faith Virtual Conference, a free online event happening October 14th through the 18th. I'll be teaching on the final day, October 18th at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and my session is called Honoring Agency God's Way, from control to connection, holding love and truth together. If you struggle to let other people use their agency and end up resorting to control, if your heart has ached to embrace others fully without compromising truth, this session is for you. You'll get practical mindset tools, faith-centered guidance, and access to 23 powerful classes designed to strengthen your walk with God. And if you can't attend live, no worries, because a replay is going to be available. By signing up, you'll also get access to my free Master Your Mind, Master Your Life starter kit. In this kit, you're going to learn how to detect, disagree, and disobey the thoughts that are not serving you. You'll get 4 key characteristics used to identify satanic thoughts or impressions. You'll also get a long list of satanic thoughts to help you discover where Satan is getting into your thoughts without you even realizing it. And last, you'll get a powerful tool to help you reframe your thoughts to start making powerful shifts in your thinking, which will make powerful shifts in your life. The link is below, and I cannot wait to see you there. If this video has helped, please share it with somebody who needs it today. You do not have to do this alone. Let's walk this road together. I'll see you in October.